There we go. Alrighty. It was recording long ways again. Anyway, March 10th, 2025. It's Monday, new week. So, I don't think I really walk on the weekends, usually just because that's when I'm busy with family or whatever. So, things are looking up. Reopened commissions last night, along with posting a bunch of other art. So, I had a long list of people who wanted stuff. So I'm at 9 commissions already. So made almost 200. I'm like at 170-ish right now. So I'm able to both pay for the groceries from last weekend and also pay back my boyfriend because he lent me some money. So I want to be intent on paying him back for that. God bless him. I hope he gets that interview because he was telling me that one of his jobs, he liked his experience, so they went forward a little bit to the interview stage. So I just hope he passes it and, hey, you get a pay raise, it's a bit more responsibility, but hopefully it's something he can manage or do. So I don't know. I have some faith in him and it's okay. If he doesn't, I don't really like to think about the what ifs, but what if he doesn't, that's okay because he still works there, under a normal position and not too big of a deal or loss really. So, but hey, more money for him, more he could move out and live at his own place and stuff. So I can only wish the best for him. Sending good prayers and good luck for him to pass that interview. As for today, in the past few days, rearranged my room and cleaned it. I think I said that before. I think I did. So went to the mall, got myself a t-shirt and like a sticker, and that was it. So that was nice. Got to treat myself actually for once. So it's a girly shirt. Well, girly as a depiction of a gray hellhound from a show about hell, can be. So, Hello Boss. That show is a bit far different from what it used to be. Nowadays, it's kind of like a soap opera. So just kind of like a drama. Not exactly. I mean, it's comedic, but it's not as comedic as it was during season 1. I don't know. Seasonal rot. It's a thing. The longer a show goes on, the worse it kind of gets, or the more dragged out everything becomes. I don't know. You just see that happen a lot with games or movies, especially movies. So, like I know Halloween, good old Michael Myers, always going to kind of survive no matter what gets thrown at him. So until Halloween ends, which was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, somewhere around that time, where it finally ended. But they're gonna reboot the series. They did that for Halloween 2019. They're just gonna bring him back because Michael Myers is iconic, and also they want money. Nowadays you kind of just see reboots or remakes of original properties. You don't really see anything kind of new. And even then, something like, say, The Woman on the Porch or whatever. I forgot the name of it. It's a new one that's coming soon. It's just kind of, because horror, you can only do so much until you kind of start repeating ground. You have your ghosts, you have your nuns, you have your demonic, rituals or seances or exorcisms. But you can only do the same stories so many times until it just becomes boring, or it just becomes one of those B-tier movies where you see it on a streaming service like Amazon, but it's not released in theaters, and it's for good reason. It's because no one really cares for it. It's kind of just a mid-tier movie. You'd see it in a bargain bin at Walmart. And I used to think people were joking when they say stuff like that, but legitimately, you just see movies you've never heard of, and there's a reason for that. It's usually just because they're not popular, or they're not indie films, but they're kind of just there. Many people don't really know that there's sequels to I don't know, not The Lion King. What's the one that comes to mind? Beauty and the Beast 2. These straight to TV, DVD movies. But it's they're not shown in, actual theaters and stuff for a reason. It's just because they're kind of mid, or they don't feature like the same voice actors or like the animation studio behind it. So it's like the dollar store version of a movie that is popular. So it's like, I don't know. Most people or creators don't really know when their series needs to end or die. I mean, hell, like The Last of Us, season 2 is coming out around like next month, 13th, I think. So, while season 1 was fine because it's based off the games. So obviously, especially when it comes to movie and TV, game adaptations, obviously you're gonna have to cut out a lot, mostly because of budgetary reasons, sometimes because of writing issues. Like that one episode that mainly focused on a side character you meet for like maybe an hour, or like less than an hour of gameplay, and he's just gone. So, I mean, it at least brings some kind of like exploration to the dynamic of the main characters, Joel and Ellie. So, because it kind of because the relationship in that episode, even though the side character, that doesn't really matter, and also their fate is different from the, game, it does kind of parallel, Joel and Ellie and what they have to go through. Because the whole thing is that even though they seem like a father-daughter dynamic, obviously he's not the biological father. So, you don't really know Ellie's parents until like the DLC. But that's like vaguely touched on. But in the show, they actually do show it. So, I wonder if they're going to show more of the backstory during like season 2. It's a given. They did change a couple of things during season 1. And also the whole thing about Abby's side of the story. Because in the game, like, you meet halfway through of like basically going on this whole revenge mission, and then Abby shows up, and then you have to play the latter half of the game as Abby. And it's like most people, especially during launch, they didn't really care, or they want to play like the murderer of a character that they grew attached to. So it's already kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So, but I'm interested to kind of see if they're going to have both plot lines happen at the same time. Because the game does kind of hint at like, day one for both Abby and Ellie happening. Because they're both taking place in Seattle, just different parts. Like even on day 2, both of them go to the hospital. And like you can faintly hear in the background during Ellie's interrogation I forgot her name. She's one of Abby's friends, the medic. But like you can faintly hear and also see that the power in the lower levels has been turned on, and that's because of Abby doing it on her side of the campaign, mostly just to get through to find those medic supplies. So I don't know if they're gonna have like both kind of things happening at the same time, like happen concurrently, or they're gonna do it like the game did, where the first half is Ellie's side and the second half is Abby's side of things. I mean, it would be an interesting subversion, but it kind of depends, because everybody already hated it during the initial game's release. So who knows? Naughty Dog's not exactly well known for their kind of competency. I mean, hell, their ports for the first game and the second game's remakes for PC and PS5 were crappy. They didn't give it enough time, and it kind of fell apart. So I don't know. Even then, I think right now it's still those 2 ports of the game are like broken. So it's like great. People have to usually stick to old reliable, like the 2014 remaster. So, who knows? Hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully. I have concerns about it, but I think it'll be fine. I still think the game is better. And I feel like, because, like, especially because my family mainly, like any show that does a lot of talking but no action or humor, like it's just dry. Like something like Schitt's Creek, like it's comedic because it has no laugh tracks. It's kind of just said bluntly, or like it's more cynical, like sarcastic. But that's still funny. But when you have a show that's supposed to be like story driven and action, like The Last of Us, you kind of have to cut out a lot of the talking, because otherwise people are gonna get bored of it or skip it, and then you're kind of just left with a lot of like dead air, dead content that people kind of didn't glance at, or they gave a passing glance. So like all that hard work and acting kind of just flies out the window, and that sucks because I know that those projects, especially again like adaptations, it takes a good while to get the source material right. I mean, the Sonic games, well, Sonic movies at least, like those have 3 freaking games, or the games have 3 freaking movies, and everybody kind of thought the first one would be it, especially after their initial reveal for Sonic's design. But you know, they actually kind of fixed it, and lo and behold, it's got like 2 sequels and a Netflix show. Although that one's not really on Sonic, but you know, still. Like, hey, they did something right at least. I mean, hell, Jim Carrey actually wanted to participate in 2 sequels, which is funny because he said it before, he never wants to do sequels again after I think like The Mask too. So, but that's just TV movie adaptations. Who knows what'll come in the future. I guess this marks today's little out loud kind of diary thinking thoughts. May the rest of the week be good and tomorrow be better. Hasta manana.